Welcome everybody to my first YouTube video. I appreciate it if you're watching. Some of you may know me from my Instagram page at MyTakeHoops where I started. I'm going to try and come over on this platform and do a little bit more over here and expand because I think it'd be a good idea for the future. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Every view counts and every like and comment and subscription counts. It means a lot, guys, and I just want to say thank you right off the bat for supporting me all this time. But today, I'm going to be breaking down 5 takeaways from the college basketball season that I've noticed so far. I have a list of about 15 to 16, and I haven't been able to watch every team, but this is most likely going to be a 3-part series just so the video is not 30 minutes long. But yeah, so I've got 5 or 6 takeaways today, and then I'll release my other takeaways later in the week, ideally, and they might not be the most up-to-date because it does take me a while to get these episodes out. But anything I'm going to edit, I'll just let you guys know in the comments. That way we're all on the same page. But yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, to start, I want to talk about Gonzaga and also Jalen Suggs. This is easily the best team we've seen so far this year with everyone being on the floor and healthy. They've just got so many people that can score. They've got so much depth. They've got so many people that can produce and be a primary option if needed. I've been very impressed with their chemistry as well. They play like they've been playing together for years. And the fact that they have guys like Andrew Nembhard, who's playing a lesser role, just shows the depth. I mean, he was killing it at Florida. I wouldn't say killing it, but he was doing well. And he entered the transfer portal and he decided to come to Gonzaga, and now he's coming off the bench in some instances. And that's absolutely insane. Like when Suggs got hurt, he came in and played phenomenally. That just shows like Suggs, one of their best players, is being replaced by another great player. And I think they're just very poised to win a national championship. Drew Timme is a wizard in the post with the ability to stretch the floor. I've been very impressed with his craftiness around the rim. He's certainly not the most athletic or the most powerful player, but he's crafty and he's able to score in his own ways. And aside from that, he can stretch the floor and shoot it from deep, and he can dribble the ball and pass. He can do it all. And Corey Kispert can shoot the lights out. He's a great scoring option for them. His form is clean and tight. Like everything he does from a shooting aspect is just spot on. Joel, he's another solid option. This is what I'm saying. They just have so many guys that can produce, and it's just it makes them look very strong later in the year. And I haven't even got to talk about Jalen Suggs yet. He's playing some of the best basketball we've seen in the freshman class, and that's saying a lot because this freshman class is stacked. And I would even argue that he's playing some of the best basketball of his entire career so far. And I've been watching him since high school, and he just looks even more comfortable at the college level, which is absolutely insane. He's a smooth combo guard, and his stock is only growing, and he's making a legitimate case to be a top 3 pick. And to be honest, that's absolutely crazy because a lot of people, including myself, didn't even have him top 10 this year. And he's now looking like a solid top 3, top 5 pick. And I just love the way he controls the pace of the game. His competitive spirit is always on display. You see him catch an alley-oop dunk. This is your point guard, catch an alley-oop dunk. And he's up and fiery and getting people involved. And that's just what you love to see from a coaching standpoint. And there's not really many negative things I had to say about Suggs yet. And I think Mark Few is a perfect coach for him, in my opinion. He's going to learn so much. He's going to learn how to have a pro mindset. And I'm really a big fan of that decision for him. So yeah, Gonzaga, real deal, easily championship contenders. The next team I want to talk about is Kentucky. They have some of the most talent in the NCAA, but per usual, they're struggling early. This is not out of the ordinary though, but it is a little bit concerning. They're losing to teams like Richmond, who's much better than people realize, and then Georgia Tech, yeah, that was a bad loss. I'll give you that. But I'm here to tell you, do not panic, Wildcat fans. Calipari has a distinct ability to get his teams in peak shape at the right time in March. I can't tell you how many times I've watched Calipari start with a brand new group of freshmen. They lose early, and every year we're like, oh no, they're going to be bad. And then they start coming around at the right time. Even last year, they were playing pretty poorly early on in the year. And honestly, they were going into the SEC tournament with so much momentum. That win over Florida, just trust me, Calipari has a distinct ability to get his team ready. I will say, though, that everyone on that team is underperforming, in my opinion. Boston looks like he's playing hero ball, and he's holding up the offense. He catches the ball, and the first thing he does is put it on the ground. Or the first thing he does is wait for the defense to settle. You can't do that at Kentucky, where you have to be moving the ball, get the defense on the move, and then take advantage from there. You can't think you are the primary option all the time because you're just not. Anybody can be the primary option on that team. and his effort defensively is poor as well. Boston just has a lot to learn, and he'll be fine, though. Their wing strength is unbelievable. Boston can hold it down offensively, Clark can be a two-way star, and Fletcher can fill a role and be a hound on defense. I absolutely love the way he dives on the floor for loose balls. And actually, he's going to be on my list of underrated players for the class of 2020. There's a little hint. Askew is a bit turnover prone right now. He plays too relaxed at times. But I will say, I like how he gets low. Once he settles in a little bit, I think he'll be fine. People like Ware and Isaiah Jackson, they're a bit of a project, but they'll fill a role. Sarr needs to be more commanding on the floor. He needs to be their leader. Like I said, they have a lot of projects on their team, but just give them time to develop. It's the same thing with Duke. They're going to lose early, but they're playing around. They're learning so much. You learn so much more from a loss than from beating somebody by 50 points. So relax for right now, Wildcat fans. Give it some time. The next team I want to talk about, the Kansas Jayhawks. And they've survived a few close games. They beat Kentucky after starting out slow. That was a good game for them to come back and learn a lot from. But I will say, while their record is good at the moment, they do not look convincing to me. They really missed their true point guard in Devin Dotson, who averaged 18.8 points per game last year and was phenomenally quick and reliable at running the offense. And I do think they miss a guy like Azubuike as well, who was great for Dotson in the two-man game. So they're missing two major pieces, and I think they're still feeling out who's going to be their identity and who they're going to go through, but they're missing two major pieces, so I'll cut them some slack for that because they're missing a lot. But as much as I love Marcus Garrett and his defensive ability, he's not a true point guard, and it's showing. They rarely have someone that is consistently leading them as a point guard should. They rarely have somebody that's starting the offense or someone that looks comfortable starting the offense. I love Garrett, like I said, but he just does not look confident starting the offense. But although it's only been 5 games, they're higher in points per game this year, and they have more turnovers, though, and less assists per game than last year. And I think that's a major result of not having a player like Dotson who can fill that gap. And sure, that may be a little unfair for me to speculate now just because it's only been 5 games, so we'll revisit this later down the road. But I will say, Jalen Wilson has been very impressive. I have been very impressed with the way he plays. And he plays with intensity. He looks like he's on a mission, and I love watching him play. Ochai has also been playing well. He's a solid scoring option. I think that's very much what they need, is somebody that they can rely on to score, and I think he's doing that well. I think they're both averaging above 15 points. And Bryce Thompson, he's playing decently well. I will give him that. He's got one of the best pull-up jumpers in the country. He's learning a lot right now, like most other freshmen. I think he'll probably have to stay a couple years unless he really comes on near the end of the year. But I like his projection. I think Kansas fans should be happy with him and watch him develop. But yeah, Kansas, great record on paper, but I am a bit concerned about them without that true point guard. So let's move on and talk about the Arizona State Sun Devils. I want to talk about how they're one of the most guard-heavy teams in the nation. They've got guys like Remy Martin, Josh Christopher, Luther Muhammad, Jalen House, Alonzo Verge, Holland Woods, Caleb Christopher. I mean, they've got so many guards that can play. These major guards are taking up about 133.1 minutes per game at the moment, and they're taking up about 64.3 points per game out of the 84.5 points per game that they are scoring through 4 games. They need to play with rotations and figure out an identity and who is going to be the primary option. And it looks like Josh Christopher. And I want to give Josh Christopher a lot of credit. He has so many doubters, and I'm one of them, and I will say that openly. I didn't think he would perform this well this early in his college career. He had a lot of hype coming out of high school from all these media sites, and they did create unrealistic expectations for him. He's not going to come out and score 30 a night. It's very rare that happens at the college level. But he's playing with so much more skill than I gave him credit for, and I think that's very impressive. I knew he was a powerful player. We all knew that. We knew he could be a menace in the open court, but he's playing with some skill in the half court, and that I think is impressive. Marcus Bagley is also outperforming his expectations already. He's been also very impressive. He's smooth on the perimeter. He has the body and the skill set to be great in the mid-post. I'm a big fan of his development and projection. He's a stock riser for sure. Look for him to have an increased role as the season continues. But like I said, Arizona State just needs to play with rotations. They need to maybe find a big man inside that they can have that's reliable. But they are going to play through their guards, and it's going to be that way all year. But like I said, just play through the difficulties right now, learn from the rotations, and find guys that work well together. And that's going to be the theme for the majority of this episode. All right, I'm excited to talk about this one. This is Villanova and their consistency, along with the emergence of Jeremiah Robinson-Earl. Villanova is looking like a legitimate title contender, even though they suffered a loss to a good Virginia Tech team. If I had to pick right now who my favorites to win the national championship are, it's probably somewhere in between Gonzaga, Baylor, and Villanova. Colin Gillespie is the heart and soul of that team, and he's a phenomenal leader on the court. I love the way he starts the offense, and he has a unique ability to back down defenders as a point guard. You don't see that very much anymore in the modern era of basketball. And the commentators will say it every game. It's super unique, and Jay Wright doesn't recruit for that. He just has a system where players come in and naturally do that. It's a way for them to create out of the post and facilitate from there, and it's just very unique, and it's working. Justin Moore is quietly putting up great numbers at the moment too. He's reliable, he's smooth in the lane, he's crafty, he's smooth on the perimeter as well. And he's somebody that's coming in producing night in and night out, and he's not getting much attention. And now, the kicker, Jeremiah Robinson-Earl. He has emerged as one of the best big men in the country, and his improvement has been astounding. He can be a double-double machine. I love the way he rebounds. He's textbook. He's absolutely textbook. He boxes out, he gets low, he puts his butt into the defender, backs them out, grows up, grabs the ball, and chins it. He's so strong with the ball. You don't get to see that as much anymore. It's kind of a lost art boxing out is. He's a mismatch nightmare in the post because of this combination of quickness and strength. He gets low when he attacks in the post, giving him leverage over the defender. And he's just very good at understanding his body, his angles, and how to force defenders out of the way. In the mid-range, he's really developed his jab into a jump shot. He's even hitting it from the perimeter. His lateral quickness allows him to defend any position on the floor as well. He's going to be the cornerstone of this team, and Villanova has a great chance to make a deep run in the tournament because of him. All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody. I appreciate it if you made it this far in the video, and if you liked it, consider liking and commenting and subscribing. I told myself I would never be that guy, but it does help out a lot. I appreciate all the support thus far that you guys have shown me on Instagram. So if you want to follow me over there, it's the same as my YouTube channel, and it's linked somewhere in the description. But yeah, look out for more videos in the future, and thanks again.